So I had this really interesting debate with my roommate's father, like about 2 nights ago. So it was really interesting, to say the least, because I've never really met somebody as politically versed as myself. Just as a quick background, you know, he has like 5 kids, 5 or 6 kids. I'm not quite sure exactly the number. He's lax, and he's a supporter of Barack Obama. He holds numerous liberal ideas, but he also recognizes a lot of the problems that the country faces, and knows that Barack Obama isn't necessarily the answer to a lot of those problems. Most of the reason why he's voting for a Democrat, or Barack Obama specifically, is because it'd be nice to have the black man finally hold the supreme office of the land. But more than that, I really thought it was interesting because despite the fact that he holds a liberal philosophy, he has consistently voted Republican. Yes, that's right, he even voted for Bush. Both times. Now, it took me a moment to really wrap my head around this. Because if you're a liberal with a liberal ideology, then why would you vote for a Republican? And I guess maybe it's just me and the fact that I vote based on principle. But he owns a business and he works hard to be able to take care of him and his family. And he votes for Republicans because whenever a Republican is in office, he does better. Like his businesses does better and makes more money, etc., etc., etc. So issues that don't really affect him personally, things like abortion or the war, doesn't affect him like personally. Isn't a reason why he votes. Now, I try to argue with him on my own personal libertarian philosophy, at the very least federalism and leaving liberal policies up to the states. And he totally just said that wouldn't be fair because, well, somebody who lives in upstate New York or California would be able to be provided a better lifestyle than somebody living in West Virginia. And that's not fair. Because those who live in poor communities therefore have a more difficult time succeeding in life. And I guess that is a somewhat good point. But the fact is that as a free country, I mean, you need to be able to reach out and strive for you got to pursue your own happiness without the help of the government. That's the whole point of the Constitution. It's not what rights the government has, it's what rights you have, and what rights, unalienable rights, that they cannot take away from you. And even though I'm like, it's the 10th Amendment in the Constitution, you can't take away state power. Well, some things are better left to liberal ideas, I guess. But he actually didn't disagree with me either. He says in a perfect world, my ideas and my ideals would be fine and perfect. But he says I'm too much of an idealist because I believe in individualism, not collectivism. And because of that, I believe that every individual has the right to believe what they want, to do what they want, however they want, private organizations, private businesses, and just get the government out of the way. And I guess his point is that life isn't fair, majority rules, regardless of the fact that we're not technically a democracy, even small governments, even local governments, majority still rule. And if you're in the minority, you end up ultimately getting screwed over. And it's just too much to say that it's basically impossible for an idealistic view like myself to really truly be achieved in this country of ours because of how far it strayed from our original roots. And so he looks at it as he says that I look at the world as how I want it to be, whereas he looks at how the world is. And since I don't look at how the world is, I'm not making the right decisions in who I'm necessarily voting for or not voting for, and the views that I espouse the platforms I plan on running on when I finally do decide to run for office. I'll never back down from principles. I'll never back down from my ideals. They're just too important. I'm sorry. You know, and I guess I just need to do the best that I can to convert people like him to understand that that's all we have. What do you think?